What's up guys, TG back with another video going over Season 3, Episode 3 of Manifest Wingman. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and let's get into the recap. Episode 3 begins with Vance being questioned from the NSA. They want to know about his time in Cuba and what he's been up to with 828 since he's faked his death. Although he is threatened by them, Vance doesn't answer too much of their questions. At Ben's house, him, Michaela, and Jared discuss the Major and her recent disappearance. They worry that she might be after the 828 passengers, and Jared goes to warn Zombie about it. Obviously, they don't know what Zombie did to her. After he leaves, Michaela argues with Ben and tries to get him to take a break and rest, but Ben insists that he cannot do that until the rest of the meth heads are found and his family is safe. Cal has a calling in which he sees a blue peacock, so he calls Olive to tell her about it. Ben also has a calling in which he sees a bunch of artifacts falling from a table as a room is shaking. There is also a man lying on the floor. When the calling is done, Ben picks up a newspaper and sees an article about a chess player named Egan, and Ben thinks that he has something to do with the calling, as he was also one of the passengers on 828. At the precinct, Michaela talks to Pete, and he states that he thinks seeing Angelina was fate. Michaela tries to ask him about the other two escaped meth heads, but he wants to be brought back to his cell. Michaela has a calling in which she starts to feel and hear a heartbeat. This is about her best friend Evie that we know died before the events of the show. Ben finds Egan and finds out that he had the same calling as well. He thinks they need to work together to save the man on the floor in the calling. They discuss what they saw, and Egan has a good, clear picture because he has a photographic memory. Ben is also able to recall seeing an urn with a number on it. They conclude that these items are from a museum. Michaela visits the house of Evie's parents and finds her father on the floor dead. Jared visits Zombie and tells her about the Major's disappearance. Zombie is shaken up and worried, and after Jared leaves, she texts Vance to meet. Jared and Zeke meet up with Michaela at Evie's house. While there, Zeke finds a DVD marked for Michaela. In the DVD, Evie's father states that he arranged for his wife to go to an assisted living facility after his death, and he left the house to Michaela. A short while later, Michaela has another calling. She hears Pete's voice say she was brave. Michaela thinks Angelina is supposed to go talk to him, so she calls her. Olive and Angelina go to the campus where Ben works and take a look at old Egyptian drawings. They find a peacock feather, and Olive states she thinks the people who return are to be judged. Ben and Egan go to the museum and eventually find the room they were looking for, just as the room and building starts to shake. They smell a gas leak, and they find the man named Caleb on the ground passed out. Ben gets him out while Egan tries to go to the basement to turn off the gas. Ben gets Caleb out of the building and eventually finds Egan. He had to ditch turning off the gas and leave the building because it was too dangerous. Because emergency services are on the way, Egan runs off to try and remain off the radar. Angelina talks to Pete at the station. She thinks that she is supposed to save him, and Pete says he believes he's supposed to be with her. The NSA continues to question Vance, but tells him that they won't press charges. They want to reinstate him and put him back on the 828 case. He originally refuses, but Pavel says that he has something that will change Vance's mind. Ben takes Caleb home to his mother. They thank him, and then they go inside, and it is revealed that Caleb is the brother of Corey, one of the two remaining meth heads on the loose. Michaela and Zeke are getting ready to send Evie's mother off to an assisted living facility, but Michaela hears and feels the heartbeat again. She thinks that she is supposed to live in this house with Zeke and take care of Evie's mom, so they cancel the assisted living and do that. Ben goes to campus and meets with Olive. He tells her about Egan and mentions that he does not trust him. We then see Egan go to a pawn shop and sell the urn using Ben's ID, which he swiped off of him. There's a piece of paper in the urn, which he throws out. This paper is the missing piece to the Egyptian drawings at the campus. Cal finds a peacock feather and sends a picture of it to Olive, and then we see a scene in which someone has pictures of Michaela and Ben and is rubbing out their eyes with a knife. Vance enters a large, highly restricted 828 area run by the NSA. He looks really shocked, but we don't see what he's seeing, and the episode ends. And that is it for this episode. I thought it was once again a decent episode, nothing too crazy. I haven't been a huge fan of any of the episodes so far. They've all been decent and alright. and the first episode probably remains my favorite of the season so far. That being said, I am really intrigued by the mystery. This show does do a great job at leaving you guessing what's going to happen next with this whole 828 mystery. So I am excited for the next episode to keep getting clues and hopefully start to get some answers. I do think Olive is onto something with the whole judgment thing. It would explain a lot. It would explain why someone such as the bank robber that drowned did not survive his death date because he used his callings for greed and fame, and someone like Zeke, who used his callings for good, survived his death date. I think we're going to find out more about that when it comes time for the meth heads to meet their death date. Someone like Pete might survive his, and the leader of the pack, I forget his name, but he might die, is clearly, he is still being selfish and bad, and Pete seems to be trying to do some good and follow his callings. So if that does happen, if Pete lives and the leader dies, then it seems more like this whole judgment thing is an accurate guess. That is it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon with more Manifest videos.